What's going on, workforce? Brian here, and let's do something a little bit different today. Let's begin in the name of up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. I don't know why, I think that's hilarious. I really been doing that for the last day or two for whatever reason, just, I don't know. Anyway, guys, welcome to Work to Game. My name is Brian, and in today's discussion video, we're asking the question and exploring the idea around or are YouTubers trying to kill Anthem? Are they, with the negative reviews and the negative thoughts? How is Anthem, obviously after a couple of weeks of the game being out? If you like our discussion videos, if you like anything we're doing on the channel, we'd appreciate it if you make sure you hit that like button. We hope you subscribe and keep coming back for more content, as well as being a part of the conversation. So let's go ahead and dive in. I've put a lot of thoughts into it, and just from a basic level, I've put in easily over 100+ hours playing Anthem both on PC and on my Xbox. Thankfully, I've had very limited experience with the bugs that have been, kind of plaguing the game, and they have been working to get fixed. But I have experienced them in a small degree, and that's really kind of where I am very favorable to this game. For those of you that I've talked to that have had consistent bugs, there is a level of frustration there that is absolutely justified. Also, I do want to take this time to say this video is not sponsored by EA. We are not a game changer. So if you're still with me, thank you very much. This is a good way to separate anybody out in the comments below who say, like, I'm just a shill, because I love this game and having a good time with it. And that's really the point of this, is that when I look at the reviews, they really contradict my experience with this game. And that's really where I was trying to explore, why is that? Why is Skill Up? Why is Clean Prince? Why are all of these YouTubers so against, this game? And I think from kind of the raw reaction that I get from a lot of people is that, oh, they're just doing it for the views. Oh, this is just negative content. They're just bashing on the game because there's a monetary, gain there. And I was thinking about it, and honestly, I don't want to subscribe like malintent to any content creators. Maybe there are. We can always debate that, obviously, in the comments below. But maybe they are, but I'm not here to subscribe malintent. Rather, when I'm really thinking about it, when I was talking with Chris about this the other day, is that when you are a full-time YouTuber, like when your job really, exists around playing these games, I think there's a level of fatigue that comes into it all. I think that when, especially when you look at games as a service, they don't launch well. And I don't want to say that as an excuse. We should not excuse that. We should hold the developers to the fire and say that this is not acceptable. This can be done. But as far as games as a service games go, I think there's a general fatigue in how these games launch. So that's part of it. The other side of it is that I think when we look at it, and we look at Anthem, when you are like when you're reviewing these games full-time, when you're playing these games and creating content for YouTube around these games and so many of these games, I think there's another side where like there is a sense of fatigue as well, but in a different degree, where like what does Anthem do that's really going to pull you away from the other things that you're already doing or enjoying, especially because those things have had time to mature and to get good, I guess, for lack of a better expression. And nothing better illustrates this one point than when I was playing this weekend with my nephew, who's never seen the game. He's only heard bad things about it. And I sat him down, we played together, and literally after 5 hours of us marathoning some Anthem on Xbox, he's like, holy crap, this game is incredible. And he's like, it kind of had him start to question what he's been hearing and how true it is, because at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is yours. If I'm talking to you directly, it just matters what you enjoy. But there's no way that obviously all of this can be affected. I like my positiveness towards it, somebody else's negative. I would honestly say make sure you get both sides of the coin. If I was going to recommend this game to somebody, I would recommend that they go watch at least one of the negative reviews as well. So that way they have a good context to kind of balance it out and get the two sides of the coin. I always like to get a couple different sources. I'm weird, but that's just me. And so I want to explore that. I think at the root of it, it's not malintent. I think there's just fatigue. Now, we can sit here and say, yeah, they're just doing it for the views. And I have a hard time with that argument personally, because it's like I go to a job to get a paycheck. I show up for work and I get paid. And just imagine like if that was the same, if we applied the same doing it for the views to that kind of concept. Now you might not be willing to make that leap with me. I just think it's like, you know, if somebody walked up, Brian, I've really appreciate this report that you did. Good job, but there's a sneaking suspicion that I have here is that you've been showing up for your job consistently, and I think you're just doing that because we pay you. To which I would reply, well, yeah, like, yeah. I thought that's why we all were here. Now, that's a little, obviously, it's not going to be one-to-one because essentially, you know, obviously the doing it for the views has that kind of concept is that you're hyping something or you're making something more dramatic than it needs to be just so that people engage with it. It's going to be a tricky business because obviously the job of the title and the thumbnail is to get people's impression, right? The title for this video itself is to get your attention. Now, whether you decide to engage with the video and the commentary and the discussion, you know, in the comments below, you know, that's going to be, you know, I guess a matter of really what you're looking for in content. So I don't subscribe, you know, any kind of malintent to that idea either way. But that in and of itself opens up a whole other nutshell, a whole other bag of worms. Thinking about it for like weird phrases that maybe I'm mixing them up. Bag of chips, you know, where. Like with that fatigue, with the fact that you're, you know, like, are you chasing these stories, you know, because of that? And are you even aware of that? You know, like, is SkillUp fully aware, you know, of it? It might not be his game whatsoever. And again, the only opinion that matters is yours. Everybody doesn't have to love every game, you know, and SkillUp, I think, did an interesting and really, you know, well done job with this video. There are some critiques that I would have within his points that he makes. Obviously, I think just from him alone, just I guess to talk about it real quick, is that it feels like his expectations were that of Mass Effect. And I don't know if that's that he subscribed the expectation for Mass Effect because the team that did Mass Effect is the team that did Anthem. And so that he is now expecting, you know, kind of that single player story driven narrative game in everything that they did. Or is it that, you know, they marketed it as such, like this was essentially like, yeah, it's the Mass Effect team, which I know that you know, we knew that it's the Mass Effect team, but is the expectation not in line with the product? If you're expecting Mass Effect and you got The Division, you know, it's like there is a disconnect. You're like, this is a looter shooter. Where's my story? And I'm not knocking The Division. I think what they've done with it, you know, has been a really good job. But to that end, it'll be interesting to see if any of these creators come back later and either is it fixed or I was wrong, that kind of narrative, you know, driving the conversation going forward. So again, nothing wrong with it. It's just what we, you know, obviously like what I would encourage, again, like I said, get two different sources. Like I touched on briefly, the other issue is volume. You're playing a lot of games. You're playing a lot of games in a different way than the rest of us play these games. A lot of people have come to me and said, like, oh, you're burned out of this game because you're a full-time YouTuber. And it's like, no, like I play these, you know, these things, what I would call fairly casually hardcore. When I set up time to go play games, like, man, I jump in and have a good time. But my gameplay is limited. I'm a father of 3. I'm, you know, I own my own business. I have lots of obligations that I have to do daily. And then I also get to, you know, have the support of a fantastic wife who allows me to sit down and talk to a camera and edit a video. Like it is really a good life, but still, you know, the amount of games that I think I get to spend time with to that of a normal, like to, as it relates to maybe a normal, you know, working person, non-YouTuber, I think those might line up pretty closely from a gamer to a gamer, as opposed to somebody who is like, you're constantly busy. Now, again, I'm not full time. These guys might be in meetings all the time with brands and sponsors, and I don't know. I don't know. And then also I would throw in streamers into the mix. What's going to get people's attention? What's going to drive that conversation? And that's really where it goes. And one final point that I want to make is talking about the idea, like, I wonder if I don't think this will have any real impact negatively on them in the long run, because essentially, like I said, they can always come back with, is it fixed? Well, I was wrong. But it does sense that as more people play the game, and, you know, especially, you know, as the bugs get fixed, and let's say somebody jumps in, you know, March or April, I would think that you're going to see them continually push this game. They want as many players as possible in it. Who doesn't? But as people play it and they're like, wow, this is really interesting, it's not going to align with those reviews. And at some point, you know, those reviews will be ideally different from the general perception. And I wonder if that perception changes the perception of YouTubers in that regards. And the concern is that while they're not doing this maliciously, is that they're just catering to the popular opinion. If the popular opinion is to say Anthem is bad, then that's what they're going to say. If the popular opinion is to say that Anthem is good, then that's what they're going to say. And I would say, if you don't believe me, change the word Anthem in any of this video to Warframe and see how that changes your perception of the conversation. And that's just a challenge, but you're good to go from there. Maybe I'll put challenge in the title because it seems to be really oddly popular around this time of year. Anyway, so would I recommend Anthem? Absolutely, I would recommend it, but you got to have the context of what's going on with the game and what kind of game is it. It's a fantastic RPG. I'm digging the story, but the story isn't just the mainline quest. There is a lot to unpack, and if you're willing to dive deep, I'm sure I'm going to work on some videos as well as I'm working on some 14 story stuff because I'm really, you know, I play these games and I really dive into the story, and that's something I connect with personally. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Is this game at risk of shutting down? I doubt it. People like to, you know, make the Andromeda comparison and say that, oh, they shut down Andromeda's DLC because it didn't sell well. BioWare's at risk of shutting down. I don't think so. I think that you're looking at a single player game in which that single player game's DLCs don't really sell well. It's unfortunate that happened with Andromeda. It's unfortunate that they didn't give it the time. I do not, you know, like EA is always that catalyst. This is not a defense of them. I know people are going to be... I'm looking forward to the comments, and because then that way I know where they what at least what they watched up to in it. But no, I don't think they were risking down. Their model has never really been about that. I hope that, you know, Anthem does well. I hope it hits their sales goals because I think that's good for everybody. But we got a roadmap of 9 months of content that I'm very much excited to participate in. And if the game continues to grow and sells well, it's a games as a service. This game is meant to change. My real hope and my only concern is that they would eventually release Anthem 2. And that's just where I hope we never see an Anthem 2. I hope it's just Anthem. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Anyway, guys, those are, hello there. I don't know what happened with that word. It was like, those are my thoughts, and thous, you know, came out. So those are my thoughts. I'd love to know yours. Let's discuss in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, if you like these discussion videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment. We want to engage, have that conversation with you. If you're not liking Anthem, that's fine. Like, let us know what else you're playing. You know, we love to talk about video games. That's the whole purpose of this. This experiment that we call YouTube. So anyway, like I said, my name is Brian. This is Work to Game. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a phenomenal day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hey guys, it's me, Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you're new here, we hope you hit that subscribe button. Check us out. We talk a lot about video games, and we hope to at least hear from you in the comments below. We also try to respond to our comments. You know, we really appreciate the comments, the discussion, all the various points of view that everybody is so kindly, I guess, and politely or impolitely shares with us from time to time. So anyway, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. We hope you hit that like button. We hope you hit that subscribe button. Come back for more content each and every day. We post a lot around here, and we'd love to hear from you about what you like about video games and everything, and especially if you have any questions that you're stuck on in anything. So anyway, signing off. See you next time.